back. And today we're going to... What is wrong with you? Anyway, we're going to be checking this out for Aiden's request.
I didn't say anything bad.
Animated what are we watching, Aiden?
Animated Wansee entertainment.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's what it just said.
That don't give me anything. I mean, this guy looks like he's going to freaking Chuck E. Cheese in his mom's minivan.
But at the same time, look at it. Look at the title. My friend doesn't allow any
Scary story, animated scary stories.
Wait a minute. What? Typo. He said my friend doesn't allow anyone inside her.
So it's actually supposed to be inside
after
her
9:30 p.m. I recently found out why. Period.
It's fine if there's a typo.
So what this is like true stories, and some of them are horror, like scary and stuff like that. But some of them are just like.
By the way, I don't like
really
scary.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like really weird.
By
Like
the way, I don't like
it's something
scary.
that'll get you unease, but it's not scary.
I gotta go to
But
sleep
not
after
even-
this.
Like, I cut my arm off to save my sister's life.
But
It's
not
uneasy, that's not-
not uneasy enough that you can't just all over yourself, okay? You
I did
still
on
might
one
do
of
that.
them almost. Jesus.
So tonight we're going to be checking out scary animated stories. My friend doesn't allow anyone inside her home after 9:30 p.m. I recently found out why.
That's a Netflix title right there.
That's yeah. So let's check this out
You ever
and
seen that
see
one movie where it's
what
a whole
is
freaking paragraph.
going on. Yes, we just read that. We don't need it again.
There's already somebody screaming in the background.
The happiest couple I've ever met. The
No,
couple
sorry.
to give hope to anyone who didn't believe in love. Came crashing down from their happy, cloudless
Why does
blue
this look
sky.
like the intro to an anime?
And it all began with an old, bitter
I
woman.
don't know, but it sounds like it.
I arrived at JC's house 5 p.m. sharp. She's always obsessing with time, questioning why you're a minute late or a minute early. As if she's a detective and you're in her interrogation room.
Is she
A
Batman?
young woman with pitch black hair, dark clothing, and nose rings.
She is Batman.
To go with it all. Her home decorated not too differently from herself. A pumpkin sitting on the porch in September, black wind chimes, and a very welcoming rug at the doorstep that reads,
So she
"Leave
really
now."
likes Halloween.
Okay.
I felt special being the only person she trusted.
It's me.
Still, it took me a few knocks and even a reluctant ring of the doorbell to get her to answer. "Hey," I began, ending the
Other
awkward
than it's a
stare
woman.
down she always initiated when that door opened. "Ralph," she said, smiling. "How you doing?" "Good. Good. Yourself?" She took a
He
moment to
sprawls
trace
out
the
like a
floor with her
bat.
left foot. "Good." JC and I had planned the movie night. Well, as long as the movie wasn't too long, as she never allows anyone, even me, inside her home after 9:30 p.m. My nostrils were introduced to a scent of fresh batch of cinnamon cookies. I'd hoped that they were for us, but JC brought back a bowl of popcorn and soda for the movie instead. Which was fine. I certainly wasn't going to complain and then end up losing her trust for the next 2 decades. The movie ended. We thought Halloween 2 was okay. I gave myself a little tour while JC went upstairs to find another movie. I was glad she was willing to watch another, that she was beginning to open up and let her friends back into her life. Guess the burden from all the loneliness she's been experiencing the past few years finally got to her. My eye caught a picture framed above the fireplace of JC and her ex-boyfriend, Tyler. No one knows what happened between them. All we know is that one day they were together and the next day they weren't. After the
Killed him.
breakup, Tyler simply disappeared.
That was random.
And that kind of shows. It shows in JC's eyes. Saw 4? JC waved the DVD from atop the stairs, awaiting my response. Sure. Somehow, over and despite the gore of Saw 4, she slowly drifted into a deep sleep. I wasn't really paying much attention to the movie anyway, so that was fine. And it was about time for me to leave soon. I made myself over to the kitchen for a glass of water. I noticed the time, 9:15 p.m. I thought I'd better get going soon, even if JC wasn't going to wake up in the next 15 minutes. I I told myself I would wake her up before I left out of respect for her rules. I noticed a tray of cinnamon cookies on the counter and figured she wouldn't notice one missing anyway. I looked down the hallway before turning the sink on to see if JC's still asleep. I didn't want to make too much of a noise washing my hands.
How do you sleep like
It
that?
wasn't the
Just
sound
straight
of
up
running
like
water
that.
that woke her up. It was my scream. As I washed my hands, I made out a face of a man in the window in front of the sink. I jumped back in shock, with JC running into the kitchen with questions. What happened? She demanded to know. Call the cops. I think someone tried to break into her house. I saw him through the window by the sink. What did he look like? I don't know. Definitely a man though. I think he was white. She burst out in a sudden laughter. No more movies tonight, Ralph. Time to go. She didn't believe me, or she wasn't taking it seriously. I'm not leaving here. You're not staying here alone. I'll be fine. Not happening. I sternly interrupted. JC finally noticed the time. Her expression suddenly turned serious, and she uncrossed her arms. Oh, no, Ralph. You have to go. You have to go now. I poked my head to the side, looking out the kitchen. I saw the same men through the living room window this time. Holy shit! Call the cops. He's right there. She looked back. She saw him too. A very loud and violent bang against the door rumbled throughout the house. She ran for the front door to make sure it was locked. Except she actually ran to the front door so I wouldn't look through the peephole. Move! What are you doing? We gotta see this guy's face so we can describe him. Ralph, what? Move! Ralph, please. Confusion hit me. Why won't you move, JC? Tears run down her face, followed by trails of black eyeshadow. She seemed hopeless, like she had just given up, like she was finally ready to tell me something. Ralph, do you remember that old woman? The one Tyler and I. She dried her face with her sweater. The one me and Tyler visited. Yeah, okay, what about her? JC and Tyler were as open-minded as they come. They dipped their toes into diverse pools of knowledge. Knowledge in religion, culture, science, you name it. They studied Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and anything else that sparked their interest. Which is why, at the request of a former friend, they decided to meet with a woman who claimed to possess certain abilities. A very old, serious, grey-haired woman whose shoulders almost met the back of her neck. This woman lived up in the mountains, in absolute isolation. Although
that nose
and always willing to listen,
and that
JC
finger.
and Tyler couldn't help but laugh.
She's the Baba Yaga.
Who claimed to be one of the last people who knew how to practice real religion. The woman did not react mercifully at their mockery, and supposedly proved to JC and Tyler that she was in fact very real. It was a running joke that JC would tell us from time to time, even when Tyler left. They broke up immediately after meeting that old woman. But no one thought that it was their reasoning. JC. She looked up at me, still leaning against the door. What about the woman? What the hell does she have to do with anything that's happening right now? The tears started again. Then another very, very loud bang against the door. It was so strong that it rattled the locks and even shook some picture frames on the wall out of place. Holy shit! Okay, JC, move, please! I moved her away from the door to look through the peephole.
It's gonna be him.
Ralph, please. I saw the stuff of nightmares. A man on the ground, standing on all fours. That is, standing on his legs and hands. His crooked head looking up at the door, shifting fast, shifting inhumanely fast. His eyes were pitch black, like JC's hair, and he was completely naked, with his ribcage poking against his skin. He was standing so close to the door that I was able to see every little detail. Then he, or it, opened its mouth to reveal cat-like teeth. I jumped back as it began to bang its head against the door again. I looked at JC, waiting for an explanation. She just looked back at me, as if expecting me to figure out myself, like I was supposed to know. Then she ran to the kitchen and she came back with a tray of cinnamon cookies she had baked earlier. She placed her hand on the doorknob and looked at me. They're still his favorite. What are you doing? Don't open the door! She opened the door and walked outside, closing it behind herself. I looked through the people, then ran to the living room to get a better look through the window. She was feeding it the cookies and petting it on the head. It rubbed against her legs. She kissed it on its forehead while it consumed everything she placed in front of it. Then, in a sight that made me jump back from the window, it suddenly ran off into the woods, moving incredibly fast. I just stared at JC as she walked back inside. She froze by the staircase, still waiting for me to say something. By then, it just hit me. Tyler always did like those cookies.
So it's just butt ass naked. That's my conclusion from that.
Hey, that's the only thing Aiden draws on.
He's butt ass naked in the woods. Really, that's all
He's a cat.
He's a butt ass naked cat human.
Human cat.
What
With the
exactly
penis.
did the woman do? Did she like what? What did she?
It's her ex-boyfriend.
I
It
know
was
that.
Tyler,
I know that.
and the witch turned him into some kind of
Cat person.
Cat person. With the
Like on
penis.
Scooby-Doo.
I think she possessed him and like took over his body, but like he still has control over his body.
Then how come he still has a penis? If she possessed him.
Because she can't possess that.
Well, she
It's
can
not
also-
gonna like it's gonna jump off his body and be like, yeah, I'm done.
She can cut it off. She was more like a woman again. Well, she was an old woman.
Jesus. Anyway, that was weird.
Naked man.
Way to go, Aiden.
That's
You,
the title of this. That's the title of this episode. It's got multiple of these, and this one's gonna
I
have
think
a
you. I think
This
you.
series is gonna have a special name, and whatever comes to my mind first. This one, Naked Man.
Aiden,
Next one might be Penis Man. I don't know.
Aiden, you probably deeply disturbed our subscribers.
Or the next
You
one. Might,
probably
the
need a
next one.
psychiatrist.
The next one might be Banana Man.
You need a
Slash
psychiatrist. You need a psychiatrist.
Anyway,
And then the next one after that might be. I don't know. Let's watch the videos.
if you
Elvis
enjoyed
Man.
our
Everyone looks like
reaction,
Elvis.
Oh my God.
hit the like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe
Maybe.
and join our family here. I'm still deeply disturbed. But anyway,
He's just butt naked. Now. You can at least give the man some tidy whities or something. Jesus.
give
Don't
a,
know what I want to see.
go in the comment section
Penis
and
butt
give
naked.
us some more requests
Just imagine
for
being butts hunting for deer or
animated
something.
scary stories.
And then you see
Maybe
that.
something that doesn't have a naked cat person in it. Anyway, thank you guys for checking this out with
That's
us.
his heart.
Once again, that was
It's just bulging
Wansee
on his
Entertainment. My friend doesn't allow anyone inside her home after 9:30 p.m. I recently found out why.
She's hiding a naked man.
And you seen it first right here on Russell Family Reactions. We apologize in advance.
Cat naked man.
We'll catch you guys on the flip side.